Hello, students. Today we are going to discuss a very important poem by William Wordsworth, that is, The World is Too Much with Us. The World is Too Much with Us is a poem, is a sonnet written by William Wordsworth. You must remember it. It is one of the best poems that is prescribed in most of the universities of India. William Wordsworth, as we know, he belongs to the Romantic period that covers 18 sorry 1798 to 1837. The date sometimes 1837 is 1832 or 1850. So that depends on the critics. Different critics have given different opinions about the date, about the year of the ending of the Romantic period. By the way, let's start the poem with its introduction. Actually, the poem was written in 1802, but it was published in 1807 in a collection poems in volumes. In two volumes. The poem, the sonnet, follows the pattern of Italian sonnet. It follows Italian sonnet format, you may say pattern, that is also known as Petrarchan. So Petrarchan sonnet can be divided. It is divided. Its pattern is the division of the whole poem, the whole sonnet into two parts. The first part as octave, the second part as sestet. Octave is a stanza of 8 lines, 8 iambic lines, and sestet is a stanza of 6 lines. So, as I told you earlier in your class about iambic pentameter and different other forms of metrical structure, so I need not go to the details of the iambic pentameter. We will discuss different forms, different levels of meaning in the world is too much with us, as well as we will also discuss different questions that may be asked in your exams, like write a note on William Wordsworth as a nature poet. Sometimes the critical appreciation of the world is too much with us is also asked. So, the basic features of the poem we will discuss in detail in the poem. Let's begin. I think you must have text, but if you don't, then we will discuss. I think I have a slide that is text. So let's see. The poem starts. Actually, this is a tradition of writing a sonnet without giving the title. The first line becomes the title of the poem. In most of the Shakespearean sonnets, you must have seen. If not, then you will see how the first line of Shakespearean sonnet becomes the title of the poem, of the sonnet. In the same way, William Wordsworth has also not given any title, but the poem, the sonnet starts with the line, "The world is too much with us." Late and soon. Late and soon means sooner or later, means in our life. See, we will start explaining the idea. When you see the world is too much with us, it means there are so many things in the world. Late and soon means later or sooner. Getting and spending. Getting means earning. Spending means to spend your money, your earning on something. We lay, waste, or pass. Means it is a kind of criticism to human beings that how human beings have become totally selfish. They means they means we as a whole, as a human being, we lay waste our energy. Whatever we do for getting, for earning, and for spending. So we most of the time we see what benefits can we get. So that is materialistic pursuit. So William Wordsworth criticizes human beings, that human beings have become like machine. Little we see in nature that is ours. So in the pursuit of material gains, we don't see, we don't observe, we don't pay attention to the activities of nature that is really ours. You most of the time see, nature is giving sorry, nature is giving each and everything without any cost. Like you might observe the situation, today's situation, that is oxygen crisis. Once we once William Wordsworth wrote that, little we see in nature that is ours. Nature is ours. Nature, we are living due to nature. We must be, thankful, grateful to nature, but we don't do this because we waste, we live waste, we, most of the time see, most of the time observe our own benefits. We don't see nature as our own. We think that nature is for us. Nature, we don't observe, we don't show our thankfulness to nature. We, most of the time we do not care for nature. We destruct so many things which are related to nature. Yes, furthermore, we have given our hearts away. Hearts, give away means to, to give away. It means we don't keep our hearts, means we have become totally great, ungrateful to nature. Our hearts have not with us. हमने अपने हृदय को क्या कर दिया है, बेच दिया है. मीन्स we don't possess heart. Actually, this is a kind of criticism. When you become angry on somebody, you use words like this, that you have become cruel. So sordid boon, it is a kind of sordid boon. It is a kind of, it's in a sordid boon. Actually, it is a curse, it is not a boon. But in ironical way, in a manner of satirizing, the poet says, the poet writes that it is a kind of boon because people take it as a boon. That is why William Wordsworth used the word boon. This sea, the sea, or this sea, no problem. The sea here means the water that bears her bosom to the moon. It means nature creates different kinds of scenery for us, different kinds of things for us, but we do not care for anything. Sometimes people are become so busy that they don't care for anything. They become totally materialistic. So it is a kind of curse, it is a kind of criticism to those who have become totally materialistic, totally they are money minded. So next, the winds that will be howling all the time. We know it very well that if wind stops for just for 30 seconds, all the human beings will not be here. They will go for somewhere else, means everybody will die. But we do not care for nature, we do not care for the blessings of nature that is being given to us free of cost. Means there is no the things which are being given by nature to us, we do not care, we take it easily, we don't show our gratefulness. That is a matter of sordid. It is a kind of curse, it is a kind of curse to humanity, that people have stopped seeing the things, the values of nature. We don't value nature. That is the criticism of human beings. Means the nature is all to us. Nature gives a lot of things. Nature gives water, nature gives air, wind, nature gives food. But we are busy in making buildings that is no use for us. If wind stop blowing for 30 seconds, as I told you, we will not be here. But we never show our gratefulness to nature, that oh God, oh nature, you are giving energy, you are giving oxygen to us. Nature has balanced itself, but human beings are always busy in creating so many dangerous things. Means man has become the enemy of man. Furthermore, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. See, we are not able to value the things which are present for us. For this, for everything, means for everything whatever nature has given us, we do not care. We are out of tune, means we are out of concern. We don't have concern to nature. Means environment, nature, trees, mountains, rivers, these are the parts of nature. So indirectly, if we see, indirectly, the poet is urging us to be thankful to nature and be conscious to the things which are present in nature. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. Out of tune means we do not care. We have become careless. It moves us not. See, it is a kind of great criticism to human beings, that natural things do not move us. We do not feel good for nature. Great God, the poet is addressing to God directly, that oh God, I would rather be pagan, shackled in a creed outworn. The poet shows that become he wants to become pagan if he has no belief in God. Means he is showing his own attitude to nature, that as we know, he is known as the priest of nature. Because of this, he never tried to be religious. Although he was religious, but he says that if there is a kind of balance or disbalance, then I'll choose nature, not religion. I standing on this pleasant sea. Actually, the last 6 lines are his own justification to nature, his own feelings, his own emotions to nature. He further says, have glimpses. I standing on this pleasantly, means he was standing, when he wrote this poem, he was standing at a place from where he could have, he could get the glimpses of nature, that have multifaceted visions of nature. Have sight of Prometheus rising from the sea. Actually, he was standing at the shore of the sea. Means you must be aware of the idea that he was, he gives different postures, different, ideas that how he could get the visions, the, look, the scene of Lee, sea, and even the forest. Oh, here, old Titan blew his wreath on. Actually, he realized the importance of nature, and he most of the time visited natural places, and he has written so many nature poems to show his gratefulness to nature, and he also directly and indirectly tries to, persuade us to be nature lover. It is the need of the hour. Even in 20 even in today's time, it is the need of the hour that we should be grateful, we should be careful, we should be, you know, uh, always be in conscious that nature is ours. Nature, environment are the things which are very important for us. These buildings, this education, these so many things which we hanker after, these things are not for humanity. Actually, when as I told you, if nature stops function for a while, we will not be here. Nobody will be here. So the poet is showing, the poet is of the opinion that we must be careful to the things which are present, which are useful for us. So let's see the gist of the poem. I think you must have you must have uh, found some basic ideas of the poem. How the poet is priest of the nature. How does he glorify the concept of nature? So let's see. Wordsworth gives the importance to nature in so many ways. As we see, he has given that how important, you must remember important words like important phrases like combinations like late and soon. Means most of the time we are busy in materialistic pursuit. So you may write even one page on how we are busy in purchasing cars, building houses, attending so many industrial uh, conferences, but we are not careful to nature. So getting and spending, sordid boon, pars, these are the things, these are the words which are very important for you for writing a good answer in your exam. So if you want to write, you may write something like I'll be giving I'll be giving some idea like the poet criticizes materialistic cynicism, materialistic uh, pursuit of the time. This is the biggest thing. And we have become cruel. We means human beings have become cruel. We do not care the importance, we do not give importance to nature. Let's proceed to the some important facts that is very important for your exam, like metaphor. So there are, if you write, these are the critical comments which are written in your explanation as well as in critical appreciation. When you write explanation, you must write these things that This is a metaphor, forms of poem, rhyme scheme, music and harmony, stanza form of the poetry, form of the poem, that is important. Stanza form, and you must write a little bit, I at least half page summary that should be crammed, that should always be in your mind. So if we write, we have given our hearts away sordid boon, is an example of oxymoron. Sordid, sordid suggests the worst aspects of human nature, such as immortality, selfishness, and greed. So, if you write in your exam, if this stanza or the poem comes in your exam, you must write that how human beings have become selfish. He has become, in all the human beings have become greedy, although they are, they belong to, although they belong to any of the country, either चाहे वो इंडियन हो, चाहे अमेरिकन हो, एनी कंट्री, बट दे आर selfish, greedy, and so that is sordid boon as an example of oxymoron. See, there are different contradictions as well. The meaning of the words suggest materialism is destructive and corrupt blessings. See, actually, human beings are busy in materialistic pursuit, although they know that material gains will not do anything. That is, if you take anything that is materialistic, that might be dangerous in some way or other. So there are different things which you might remember, you must remember for your exam. So the next point is form of the poem. As I told you, the poem is written in sonnet form. It is in sonnet form, and it implies the poem means the world is too much with us is a Petrarchan sonnet. It is a Petrarchan sonnet. Petrarchan sonnet is also known as Italian sonnet. So you must remember it. Wordsworth employs a strictly structured form, the Italian form of sonnet writing. It comprises 14 lines that can be divided into two parts. The first part is an octave, the second part is sestet. So an octave has 8 lines, 8 iambic pentameter lines, while the other 6 lines have the same pattern, the same iambic pentameter lines. So this is very important thing that if you write, then you may write as I told you in class, that there are so many things which are important for writing Petrarchan sonnet. Different aspects of Petrarchan sonnet have been dictated to you. You must write from there. So the next point is, as we know, if you know the form of the poem, you must know, you will easily know that rhyme scheme is the rhyme scheme of, remember the rhyme scheme of Petrarchan sonnet, then you will be able to remember or find the rhyme scheme of this poem. So the rhyme scheme of this poem is, the first 8 lines have A, B, B, A, B, B, A. Means the first 8 lines have the rhyme scheme of, if I tell you in a very short, that is Abba, Abba, A, double B, A, double B, A. And the last 6 lines are C, D, C or C, D, E. See, you just see rhyme scheme of the poem. Like soon is matching or rhyming with boon, means there will be a, and here will be a. The second and third, the last words are the last syllables of the second and the third lines are matching with a, like R's and R's. So that will be B, B. So the first four lines have A, B, B, A. The same rhyming is in further four lines, like moon is rhyming with tune. So moon, tune. This will be the same A and A, and the, I think, sixth and seventh lines have the same rhyme scheme, that is rhyming with the second and the third. So it will be B, B. So the first 8 lines have the rhyme scheme of A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A. The last 6 lines must be seen in this context like B. Now 8 lines have no rhyming with this, so this will be C. Outward, that is also not. To C, D, C. B is matching with Lee, so that will be C, D, C. Now the other lines like forlorn, C, horn, these are not matching with the starting one. So if you see, worn is matching with lorn, so that will be D, D, C, E. So rhyme scheme is A, B, B, A, B, A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A, and C, D, C, D, C, E. D, C, C, C. The last 6 lines must be scanned carefully, that is, that will be C, D, C, again D, C, D. So I think you must have actually the last 6 lines in most of the Petrarchan sonnet have variations. So I think you must have got the idea of rhyme scheme. And the fourth one is imagery and harmony. So the line, if you go back to the poem, you will find the line, for this, for everything, we are out of tune. Means, if you see, implies that man is out of tune with nature. Means man has become careless, man has become senseless to the importance of nature, and unable to live in harmony. Means we are unable to live in harmony with nature. So that is very important thing that must be inculcated in your answer. First of all, remember that you are going to write each and everything whatever you know. If in your exam anything from the world is too much with us comes. So the next one is imagery. If we see the line, in the line and are up gathered now like sleeping flowers. So I think you must be knowing the concept of simile, that is, if in the line the like or as comes, there will be simile. Sleeping flowers suggest that man is numb and unaware. Means we are unable to understand the emotion, the beauty and power of nature. At the same time, however, there is also certain optimism. See, optimism is also there. Actually, the poet is criticizing to arouse us to be good to nature, to be good to nature. Okay, so let's see some important suggested questions that might be asked in your exam. That is, the first question, maybe you may write a note on William Wordsworth as a nature poet. So you have read only one poem by Wordsworth. There are so many poems. There are some Lucy poems. There is a poem that is Tinternaby. There are so many poems. He has written, so I actually he wrote about 524 sonnets. So that is a very big number, but he is not known as sonneteer. He is known for his lyrical, for his concern to nature. Okay, so he the first question might be asked, that is, write a note on William Wordsworth as a nature poet. It can be also optimized with write a note on William Wordsworth as the priest of nature. So you have read this poem. With the help of this poem, you may write very well. I think you should read again and again to understand the idea of nature poet. A nature poet is one who writes about the importance of nature, who glorifies various aspects of nature, environment, trees, rivers, gardens, so many things. So nature poet is one who writes about nature, the importance of nature in human life. So I think you must have got the idea that how William Wordsworth wrote about the importance of nature. So next question may be asked. Write a critical appreciation of the world is too much with us. So for this you must remember some basic idea. As I in introduction I told you that it was published in 1807, although it was written in 1802. It was published in a collection. It is a poem by William Wordsworth. So you will have to write this. Okay. Furthermore, you will have to write about you will have to write gist of the poem in the beginning. After introduction you will have to write gist of the poem. After that you will have to write theme of the poem. Theme of the poem is the poet wants to glorify the importance of nature, and as well as he criticizes human beings for being senseless, careless, thankless to nature. Furthermore, you will have to write a stanza form of the poetry, rhyme scheme, rhythm, music, imagery, and so you will have to conclude. I think you must have got the idea of how to write good answer in critical appreciation. So the poet, the most important thing, the poet, both the poet has used we as well as I, means when it becomes to the importance of nature, the poet becomes I, means the poet never includes us. When it becomes that we have, it becomes cruelty or senselessness or ungratefulness to nature, it becomes we, means the poet never say you, the poet includes himself as well, for giving stress, for not being cynical. Sometimes when you say that you, then people become angry. When you say we, it becomes to all, and people take it easy. So the poem is very important, as we have read it in classroom as well. The most important thing, as I want to tell you, you will have to you will have also to write about the romantic period. Okay, as I told you, the romantic period starts in 1798 and ends in 1837 with the succession of Queen Victoria in England, and it starts with the publication of lyrical ballads in 1798. So I think you must have got the idea. Okay, so let's finish the today's class. We will be back with some other chapters, with other some other poems, with some other essays. Okay, that's all for this. Thank you. This one is thank you.